Hey adrenaline junkies, get ready for the ultimate thrill ride. We're back with the craziest police dashcam chases and the most epic jaw-dropping moments from our most watched videos. We're talking insane high-speed pursuits, heart-stopping close calls, and pure, unfiltered adrenaline-pumping action that'll leave you on the edge of your seat. This is the kind of thrill that gets your heart pounding, your pulse racing, and your jaw dropping. Buckle up, hold on tight, and let's feel the rush like never before.
Keep coming!
Most people spend Valentine's Day with someone they love. But this South Carolina highway patrol officer, he spent it chasing a black Yukon through the night. It all started when the trooper spotted a brand new Yukon with paper tags. The driver had no plans to talk. He hit the gas and disappeared around a bend. The trooper lost him, but a quick slowdown at an intersection brought them back together. The chase continued through a residential area, with the suspect trying to shake the officer off his tail. But luck ran out when he turned down a dead-end road. Our trooper quickly spun around and stayed hot on his trail.
Left on single tree. Right on Bookman. Oh, he's in somebody's yard. He's spinning out. I'm gonna box him in.
Despite the driver's front tire being damaged, he pushed on, kicking up a shower of sparks as he drove on pure metal. But there's no escaping a determined officer. They finally boxed him in and arrested him. While the suspect held something suspicious in his hand, we never learned his name or charges. All we know is he spent his Valentine's Day alone, in a jail cell.
Is there anybody else in the vehicle?
On March 4th, 2024, Florida Highway Patrol Officer Sciarra spotted a white Dodge Charger with blacked-out windows on I-75. When he tried to pull the driver over, the guy hit the gas and aimed for the nearest exit ramp, hoping to lose the trooper with some quick moves. But that didn't happen. The driver, identified as Tobias Cody, got back on the highway, weaving through traffic and hitting speeds over 120 miles per hour. Trooper Skiera stayed on him, and just when backup arrived, things took a sudden turn. Trooper Prosper joined the chase but ended up in a rough spot. It seemed like he crashed, but he actually ended the chase right then and there. Once the dust settled, both Tobias and his passenger Roosevelt Williams were cuffed and charged with aggravated fleeing, battery, and property damage. Police also found marijuana and a loaded handgun inside their car.
One's coming at you.
July 12th, 2023. Two Teslas thought it was the perfect day for a street race. Clocking over 90 miles per hour, they sped straight toward an Arkansas State Troopers cruiser, splitting around it. One on the right, one on the left. The right Tesla took an exit and disappeared, but the left Tesla wasn't so lucky. With its high-powered engine, the Tesla initially pulled away. It took the officer 90 seconds to catch up, which felt like forever in a high-speed chase. But a fellow officer had a trick up his sleeve. Spike strips across the road that the Tesla couldn't avoid.
Yeah, somebody's spiked. He's still over there.
Now, you might wonder why the car didn't stop right away. Police spike strips slowly deflate tires to prevent dangerous blowouts. But even on 4 spiked tires, the Tesla kept pushing, though not for long. This let our troopers set up a pit maneuver.
Hold traffic, hit it.
Hey.
After a few near misses, the officer finally got the perfect opportunity. With its back tire gone and no grip left, the Tesla spun out, ending the chase safely. Turns out, the driver had paid his cousin $500 to rent the Tesla for a birthday trip to Dallas. Instead, he'll be spending his birthday behind bars, charged with reckless driving, aggravated assault, and unauthorized use of a vehicle. Just goes to show why they don't rent cars to people under 25. They tend to do reckless things like this.
All right, baby.
Besides pit maneuvers and spike strips, police have another tool that makes catching criminals a lot easier: the grappler. It's safer than a pit and more reliable than spikes.
Nice. Good grab. Oh, there.
On December 26, 2023, Hollywood, California police used the grappler to stop a pair of teenage carjackers in a stolen Camaro. Guess they didn't get the car they wanted for Christmas. Jõgeva County, one of 15 states in Estonia, is usually a quiet place with a population of just 28,000. But on May 1st, things took a wild turn when a drunk driver led local police on a high-speed chase. After a reckless joyride through the county, waiting officers had the perfect plan: spike strips. With one well-timed throw, the strips hit the car's tires, forcing it to pull over shortly after. His tires deflated like balloons, and the chase came to an end.
564, we're 38 in parking lot from the suspect.
LaQuandra Borden could have walked away with just a fine after getting caught shoplifting at Walmart, but instead, she turned a minor offense into a 7-year prison sentence. It all started when police caught LaQuandra and her friend, Chastity Stokes, stuffing over $2,000 worth of goods into their cart.
Now that's it. You guys reported this in Yeah, Gator Hole, North Myrtle. Yeah, the detectives involved in it.
When officers stopped them outside, everything seemed calm until LaQuandra asked to grab something from her car. Next thing you know, she's hitting the gas, a shot's fired, and a high-speed chase is on.
Get out of the car! Back up! Back up! Back up! Back up! Put in park! Put in park! Put in park! Get out of the car now! Get out of the car! I got you coming out the way.
County 564, just get it.
It's a Walmart here, can you please?
After that.
With 3 tires and a bullet wound, LaQuandra somehow keeps going, weaving through traffic and nearly running cars off the road.
County, get one of these stop words. I aren't parallel.
That's the more important now.
Bike strips finally put an end to the madness. LaQuandra's wild ride earned her 7 years behind bars. All she had to do was apologize and hand back the stolen items. Now that's what you call a costly mistake.
Now you just had a wreck.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet the most uncooperative woman in Peach County, Georgia, 24-year-old Sierra Hibbert.
Get out! Tires are flat!
After wiggling free, Sierra led officers on a wild chase until they used stop sticks to flatten her tires. Even then, she still tried to escape.
Come on! Yeah. She's not gonna make it far. Go. help over here. I got you.
Sir.
Ma'am. We got it.
I know I'm buckled, sir. I know I'm buckled, sir.
Yeah.
Sir. I didn't do anything. I didn't do it, sir.
You just tried to kill 10 people.
No, I didn't, sir.
Alex, switch back to me.
No. Sir, stop. Sir, I didn't do it. Stop. You have... No. Why have you done... Stop. Stop. I didn't do it.
It won't fit. It won't fit.
When officers finally boxed her in and dragged her out of the car, Sierra had plenty to say.
I did not do it. I did not do whatever you guys are talking about. I did not.
But the most shocking part? She had a toddler in the back seat the entire time. As officers secured the child, Sierra stuck to her story, claiming she didn't do anything. Maybe it was a ghost driving her car.
Yes, you did. You almost killed 3 fucking people. How? What did I do? Don't even ask how. How? You killed 3 people.
Let's take one last look at her wild ride from the officer's body cam.
Break glass, break glass, break glass. Get out the car. Get out. Get out. Tires are flat. Stop. Stop. Stop the car. Move. She's not gonna make it far. Go. I got in the car. Give me some help over here.
In the end, Sierra was arrested and taken to county jail. The charges are unclear, but it's safe to assume they include reckless driving, endangering a child, and possibly assault with a deadly weapon.
Stop. I didn't.
What you're about to see isn't a Hollywood action flick. It's a real-life police chase through the tight streets of Osasco, Brazil. Some say it's the best chase footage ever captured. It all started when a motorcyclist and his passenger were spotted popping wheelies and tearing through the crowded streets of Sao Paulo. A motorcycle cop tried to pull them over, but they had other plans. The rider hit the throttle, leading officer on a heart-pounding 6-minute pursuit through busy streets and narrow alleys. The biker dodged traffic, cut tight corners, and pulled stunts that would put a Hollywood stuntman to shame. But the officer wasn't letting up. When traffic got tighter, the chase reached dangerous new levels. Close calls with buses, red lights ignored, and sharp turns that nearly lost the officer. biker knew he needed something drastic to shake the cop, so he dove into residential neighborhoods. He almost pulled it off. One more turn, and he might have escaped. But as incredible as this chase was, it had to end. Based on his skill and knowledge of the city, this wasn't his first chase. And now, it might be his last. With moves like that, both of these guys could have had a career as Hollywood stunt drivers. June 20th, 2024, St. Lucie County, Florida. Highway Patrol Trooper Elvis Nolasco spots a white Mercedes on the Florida Turnpike. After a quick plate check, he learns the driver's license is suspended, and there's a seizure order on the tags. Time to pull him over, right? Well, not quite. Instead of stopping, 28-year-old Derek Taylor Jr. hits the gas, kicking off a high-speed chase down the highway. Taylor's pushing over 80 miles per hour on the left shoulder, and it's a wild ride. But there's more to this chase than speeding. The car is packed with illegal drugs: oxycodone, MDMA, marijuana, and cocaine. These guys aren't stopping for anyone.
Speed's currently 84 miles per hour. Traffic is heavy. Light rain. He's still on the left shoulder. Currently passing me 150 and a half. Traffic is moderate. Speed 98 miles per hour. At the 152, getting off the 152. Clear, clear, clear.
The chase weaves through town and back onto the highway until Trooper Nolasco and his team pull off a perfect pit maneuver.
Parking again from northbound 9 from 70. You recovered driving again.
10-4 is going to continue northbound, and he's exiting 70. Northbound 95, exiting 70. Pit.
Both suspects are arrested, and the car's stash is found. Taylor was hit with possession charges, reckless driving, and fleeing the scene. Both he and his passenger, William Woods, end up in the St. Lucie County Jail. It just goes to show, running from the law never ends well.
South Carolina 28 is 6.
Chester, South Carolina, a small town with a big crime. Police pulled over 51-year-old Eric Bernard, who seemed willing to chat, until he hit the gas and led them on a high-speed chase that ended in a crash.
Right on Ashford Street, head north south.
1050.
Once in handcuffs, officers searched his truck and found 112 grams of fentanyl and 56 grams of meth. On July 15, 2023, while being taken to prison, he escaped custody and carjacked 2 people before jumping into a stolen blue Camaro. What followed was a high-speed chase through rural Wisconsin as Wesley dodged speak strips and veered into oncoming traffic. But suddenly, his car slowed down and came to a stop on a highway ramp. OnStar shut the engine down remotely after the car's owner reported it stolen. Officers swooped in, and Wesley, the so-called tough guy, broke down in tears when they pulled out their weapons. But don't let that fool you. He's a career criminal who'd already stolen a van, crashed it, and injured someone earlier that day. In the end, Wesley was shackled to a hospital bed, facing charges of carjacking, reckless endangerment, and battery on a police officer. August 18, 2024, Andre T. Hunter turns Washington Street into his personal racetrack, blasting through town in a red Dodge Ram like he's auditioning for Fast and Furious 20. He's swerving through lanes, treating traffic laws like a minor inconvenience.
Can you get behind me? I want to DVI.
The cops pull a pro-level stunt, take out his truck, and send it rolling off the road. He strolls out like nothing happened, casually sipping a Busch beer like it's halftime at the Super Bowl. Absolute legend.
Hands up! Walk up here, hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up!
Cops swoop in, slap the cuffs on, and off he goes to the hospital with a sore shoulder. Andre now faces a laundry list of charges: driving drunk, driving on a suspended license, and, just to top it off, driving with an open beer can. Moral of the story: don't drink and drive, and definitely don't think you can outrun the law. September 4th, 2024, Littleton, Colorado, just after 2:30 a.m., and things are already getting wild.
5 David 3-2, they just lost the trailer.
Douglas County deputies roll up to a salvage yard after reports of a burglary in progress. Enter 29-year-old Brenton Zeiler, who isn't going down quietly. Zeiler's driving a stolen Toyota Tundra and thinks he's in Grand Theft Auto.
Speeds of about 73, still riding on the wheel.
Speeds of 83, you're riding on the wheel, 309.
Do you want to get your car up here?
I do 3-2, east of Fairfax, speeds of 70.
East of Fairfax, speeds of 70.
I do 3-2, speeds of 70. And they're firing shots, I believe.
The chase finally screeches to a halt when Zyler crashes near Village Greens Park in Greenwood Village.
We're working on round security.
Zyler's wild night ends in a crash. Moral of the story? You can't shoot your way out of trouble, especially when your getaway car is stolen. July 19th, 2022, Mulberry, Arkansas. Meet Robert Regal, or at least, that's what he's calling himself. This guy's got a Chevy Silverado rental, a buddy in the passenger seat, a pregnant woman in the back, and one hell of an excuse for running from the cops. His brain tumor made him do it. The chase kicks off at 7:20 p.m., and it's on for 12 minutes of high-speed drama.
Right now, from 540. Okay, U-turn. We're making a U-turn. We're coming, going back eastbound on 64. Now, I mean, we're going to do cloud risk. Miles, go ahead and pit. It's got a Texas 28 newer model, Chevy Silverado pickup. Don't pit them towards median. 21.
One cop gets close enough to pull a pit maneuver, but Robert's not done showing off. He dodges it at the last second.
Okay, we're sitting. We're back eastbound on 64. 21, you may have to get up there. I don't know if we're going up to exit 20. Yeah, we're eastbound on 64, coming towards Mulberry. We continued on past the Dollar General speed thing.
Get out of my way.
The truck has driver's side damage now from my pit. He's passing somebody on the right shoulder. Speed 62. I need a charger up here. This guy's got too much. Speed's 100. Past the Mulberry. Okay, roll over. Correction, you can pin it out. Pin it out.
Get your hands up! Get your fucking hands up! Get them up! Get your hands up!
Turn away. Turn away. Go on the other side. Go on the other side. Put your hands up. Time to get them up to the roof. Hey.
Good job, guys.
I don't want to hear no excuse.
Turns out, Robert Regal, if that's his real name, has more than just a wild driving style. He's got a lot of names to throw at the cops. After the crash, he tries them all. Meanwhile, the pregnant woman in the back? She says she doesn't even know these guys, just met them through her boyfriend. What a crew. Where were they headed? Who knows? And as for Robert's brain tumor, well, maybe it's got a taste for high-speed chases too. January 2nd, 2023. It's 10:35 a.m. and Georgia State Patrol is teaming up with East Point Police to take down 19-year-old fugitive Matthew Gaskins. This guy's been causing chaos across multiple jurisdictions, and today he's driving a stolen Jeep Grand Cherokee like he's got something to prove. Cornered on Washington Road, Gaskins decides he's not done yet, flooring it and even tearing through someone's backyard in a last-ditch attempt to escape. troopers hit him with pit maneuvers left and right, but he keeps dodging them like it's a game of bumper cars. He damages a few cars along the way, but it's all over when Gaskins finds himself boxed in a parking lot. One last pit sends him crashing into a power pole, and his ride is officially toast. And this wild chase finally comes to an end.
Dude, that was wild. Up in there, I thought he was gonna flip it. Yeah. But we couldn't do nothing but keep pushing him.
May 30th, 2018, Hudson, Wisconsin, and Cassidy Mickey, 33, is driving like he's got something to prove. After stealing a truck in St. Croix County, he's leading the cops on a multi-town chase, showing off his off-roading skills in a quiet neighborhood. Cassidy barely misses a T-bone crash, then rips through someone's driveway and across their yard like he's auditioning for Monster Jam. But the fun ends when Lieutenant Standard takes a point-blank shot. Game over for Cassidy. Turns out Cassidy stole the truck from a dealership near Deer Park. He's now facing a laundry list of charges, including burglary and reckless endangerment. 9 other charges got dropped after he took a plea deal, but he's still looking at 10 years, 5 in prison, 5 on supervision. Was that truck really worth 10 years behind bars? Unless it came with free Wi-Fi and a jacuzzi, probably not.
Bye.
On U.S. Highway 65 near Harrison, a deputy clocked a car flying at 80 miles per hour in a 45 zone. Lights, sirens, the works. But when the car looked like it was slowing down, the deputy turned off the sirens. Big mistake. The driver had other plans and kept on evading. So, sirens back on, and the chase was on. The driver cut through residential neighborhoods and onto Capps Road. But it wasn't long before the deputy hit him with a perfect pit maneuver, sending the car spinning and stopping it cold.
He went through a pit.
With the push bar pinning the car, backup arrived, and the suspect was pulled out and cuffed without a peep. Game over.
It's up to you guys. We can get this lane open. Okay. Just like traffic by or whatever.
Yeah. Hey, 14. We move over so we can get a lane of traffic open? Yeah.
This driver from San Francisco found out the hard way when his rear right tire gave out while cruising down the highway. He swerved right, yanked the wheel left, and bam, straight into the concrete barricade. By some miracle, he walked away with barely a scratch. That bulky pickup? Probably the only reason he's not in worse shape. Sometimes driving a tank on wheels has its perks. On August 8, 2024, Trooper DeAndre Fuller joined the chase for a white Ford pickup speeding down Highway 67 at 100 miles per hour. The driver, Ryan Jin, wasn't stopping. Suspected of robbery, he floored it to 110 miles per hour after a failed tactical vehicle intervention, TVI. The chase came to a dramatic end when Jin veered off the road and got stuck in a wooded area. Ignoring police commands, Jin got yanked out by Trooper Fuller, who had to break the driver's side window to get him. Turns out, the truck was stolen from Johnson Ford. Jin was arrested and taken to the Nevada County Sheriff's Office, showing the fast and fearless response from law enforcement.
here, man. Come on now.
Stop being a rush.
Shut your mouth, man. I hear that. What's up? What up, man? I ain't had this much action in my house since I bought it. Sorry.
Man, I just tried to sit down and eat dinner.
Hey, man. Hi, buddy. Hey, brother.
On July 6, 2024, Trooper Calvert joined the chase of a red Chevrolet pickup in North Little Rock. After taking control on East Broadway, the truck sped west at 40 miles per hour, refusing to stop.
Switch it down.
Broadway. I'll hit him again.
You're right.
Not yet. It's flat. Now?
Nope. Now.
Two failed TVI attempts didn't slow the suspect down as he headed south over the Broadway Bridge. That's when Sergeant Gabe Monroe stepped in, nailing a perfect TVI that sent the truck crashing into a concrete barrier.
Put it in the wall. What?
Officers quickly pulled Wendell Jackson from the wreck and took him into custody, showing off the solid teamwork of law enforcement in this tough pursuit. On February 6, 2024, in Sebring, Florida, a high-speed chase erupted when Jaquan Salvalis Hall was spotted flying down Sparta Road at over 130 miles per hour.
Speed's 40 miles an hour. He's barely able to control it. The vehicle's almost Weaving recklessly through traffic, Hall nearly caused several collisions. The deputy wasn't having it and responded by ramming Hall's Dodge, forcing it to spin out. Hall eventually gave up, dropped to the ground, and ignored commands from law enforcement. He was hit with multiple charges,
including reckless driving and assault on an officer. This chase showcased the serious risks officers face every day. On March 3, 2022, in Bibb County, a blue dirt bike with an unhelmeted rider, Zachary Travion Pryor Hicks, caught an officer's eye on Shirling Drive. When the officer tried to pull him over, Pryor Hicks sped off, blowing through a red light. With Trooper Jordan Barker joining the chase, the dirt bike rider performed tricks and dodged through oncoming traffic, pushing his luck. After some reckless maneuvers, he finally lost control and crashed on Donald Avenue. Despite resisting, Pryor Hicks was taken into custody. The dirt bike? Uninsured and unregistered, it was towed away. Pryor Hicks was checked at the hospital before heading to the Bibb County lockup, facing multiple charges.
Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him or her present before any questions if you wish. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you. You can decide at any time to answer my questions or not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand these rights? Yes, sir. With these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
All right. What you running for?
I'm just on the way home, sir.
And please don't BS me. Just what you running for?
I'm just on the way home, sir.
That's not making any sense. If you're on the way home, this is a small stop. Checking registration and insurance on the bike.
On June 10, 2024, at around 4:30 p.m., a gray Kia was spotted driving recklessly on Highway 253. When the officer tried to stop it, the driver hit the gas, fleeing south. After several miles, the officer pulled off a perfect tactical vehicle intervention, forcing the Kia off the road. The driver, Hargett, and passenger Wilson were arrested. A search turned up meth and syringes, with Wilson hiding more meth in her bra. During the chase, the Kia sideswiped an SUV, sending its driver to Mercy Hospital. Hargett and Wilson were taken to Skadkey without further incident.
I'm not
Georgia's Highway Patrol doesn't mess around when it comes to speed. With a fleet of Dodge Chargers and a new arsenal of souped-up Chevrolet Camaros added in 2022, they're built to catch almost anything on the road. But on March 27, 2022, a different beast tried to outrun them. A 2015 BMW clocked at 108 miles per hour in a 65 zone. The driver, Deontay Dougherty. Trooper Swain pulled up behind the speeding BMW and followed as it veered off the highway. For a second, it looked like Deontay was going to pull over on the exit ramp, but then he floored it. Behind the wheel, Deontay had 2 young women with him, something the officers might not have known at the time. But that didn't change his actions. Up until now, he'd kept the chase on I-75, northwest of downtown Atlanta. But then, he made a risky decision, diving straight into the heart of the city. Flying through red lights and cutting across traffic with zero concern for anyone's safety, it was clear this chase needed to end fast. One wrong move at those speeds, and it could have been catastrophic.
Somebody getting south of us. We're coming back up towards the spring, towards the 10th. Clear, clear, clear. Clear, clear, clear. Clear left, clear right. I can see clear left. I can see clear right.
Finally, after a wild pursuit through the city streets, Deontay lost control and collided with multiple cars. When the dust settled and the sirens faded, the officers approached, ready to make the arrest. In a bizarre turn, Deontay and the troopers shared a few laughs about their cars. Even he had to admit, the GSP's Charger Hellcats were on a whole different level. He was slapped with a laundry list of charges, fleeing, reckless driving, and speeding. And with the damage done to several vehicles, it's still unclear who's footing the repair bill. One thing's for sure. Hopefully, everyone had good insurance. Because outrunning the law, that's a price no one wants to pay.
Really?
We all know that type of driver. The ones who think the rules don't apply to them. Those arrogant folks zooming down the shoulder, cutting in line like they're VIPs in a traffic jam. But there's nothing sweeter than seeing them get what they deserve. And that's exactly what happened on May 11th, 2020.
Might have some damage and vehicle is stumbling.
Now, English roads aren't exactly built for high-speed chases. Our driver, Simon, must have figured that out way too late. Turns out he and his buddy Dean weren't just in a rush, they were running. And for good reason. They had 5 kilograms of hard drugs worth £500,000 stashed away.
Well, it's stand by. I've got one out on foot. It is off-road. It's one out and running. The driver's still in the vehicle. We're onto grassland. Passenger, IC1, green top.
Simon tried playing it cool, telling the cops he bought his $100,000 BMW with money he made from breeding dogs and chopping trees. Yeah, right. We're not buying it. Pretty sure those funds came from a more illicit trade. As for Dean, he tried to disappear by hailing a cab like nothing happened, but he made one big mistake, ditching his backpack in a bush. The cops found it in no time. The result? 7 years behind bars for Simon and 6 for Dean. Guess cutting the line wasn't worth it after all.
On the floor! On the floor!
August 23rd, 2022, a day that started with a routine traffic stop and quickly escalated into a high-speed cat-and-mouse game. In Arkansas, officers pulled over a silver Corvette, all because of some illegal window tints. Nothing major, right? But what happened next? Nobody saw it coming. As soon as the Corvette came to a halt, the driver hit the gas, only to stop abruptly moments later to let his passenger bail out. Clearly, the guy in the passenger seat wanted nothing to do with whatever was about to go down. With the door shut, the Corvette tore off again. Our officer tried to keep up, but it was like chasing a ghost. The Corvette disappeared from view in seconds. Minutes later, there's a glimpse. The Corvette shows up again, tauntingly close, only to vanish once more. With rain now pouring down and visibility getting worse, the chase was called off for safety. Frustratingly, it turned out this Corvette wasn't just any car. It had a special license plate usually reserved for law enforcement, but a quick Google search revealed that anyone can apply for one. Police in Ocala had their sights set on 24-year-old Tyler Faye Consolo, and he wasn't going to make things easy for them. According to Tyler, it all started when he was just minding his own business at a gas station. That's when, he claims, someone tried to rob him. So naturally, his response was to stomp on the gas and race out of there, hitting speeds over 3 times the legal limit and swerving like a madman. The Florida police had been tailing him ever since he peeled out of the gas station in Ocala. Officers tried pulling him over, but Tyler wasn't stopping. He barreled through a residential area, mowing down a mailbox and leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. The car skidded to a halt, and Tyler made a desperate dash on foot. He didn't get far. A K9 unit was hot on his heels, and the next thing Tyler knew, the dog had its teeth sunk deep into his leg. When officers finally cuffed him, Tyler stuck to his story about the attempted robbery. But if that was true, why didn't he stop to ask for help? And what about that fence he smashed through? And to top it all off, on the way to the hospital, Tyler admitted he'd been using drugs that night, among other substances. The result? He was hit with a laundry list of charges: DUI, fleeing, and resisting arrest. Oh, and that headbutt he used to break through the car window. Officers couldn't help but joke. Well, that's one way to use your head. Tyler's wild story started with an unbelievable excuse and ended with him in handcuffs. If he thought he could outrun the law with that tale, he's got a lot more time to think things over in a jail cell. Florida Highway Patrol officers spotted 2 cars tearing down Interstate 4, a blazing orange Ford Mustang and a sleek white Porsche Panamera. They were weaving between cars and pushing their speeds past 120 miles per hour. What started as a joyride turned into a full-blown police pursuit. To the officers' surprise, the driver of the Mustang made a smart move. He pulled over and decided to face the consequences. But the Porsche, the driver had a different plan. He stomped on the gas and took off, leaving the Mustang and the officers in the dust. For a moment, it seemed like the pursuing officer was gearing up for a pit maneuver. But with traffic piling up, he had to think twice. A pit at these speeds could spell disaster for everyone on the road. Instead, the officers kept their distance, waiting for the right moment. And then, that moment came. The highway cleared, and they closed in, trying to box the Porsche in and end this chase once and for all. Just as it seemed the driver was trapped, he swerved and peeled away, narrowly escaping their grasp. He sped back up the highway, nearly vanishing into the darkness. But the officer wasn't letting him go. They followed as the Porsche exited the interstate and veered into a rural area. With no other drivers at risk, the officers weren't afraid to get a little more aggressive. They finally managed to force the Porsche to a stop, pinning him down. Both men were arrested. Details about their identities and charges remain scarce, but one thing is clear. What started as a reckless race ended in a dangerous chase that could have had deadly consequences. Hopefully, the passenger turned out okay, and as for the driver, maybe now he's learned that street racing is no game. It's a fast track to ruining lives, including his own. November 9th, 2023. Florida Highway Patrol gets the call. A pursuit is already underway. 4 shoplifters just made off with $2,500 worth of merchandise from a Kohl's in Homestead, Miami-Dade County. A U-Haul van speeding north up the turnpike. Inside are Jamal Stennett, McCall Wilson, Shanika Gordon, and Norbert Ball, all in their late 30s. The group had pulled off the heist by parking the van in the emergency lane outside the Kohl's. Their plan? McCall and Shanika acted as lookouts while Stennett and Baugh piled clothes and shoes into their carts. With over $20,500 worth of goods, they bolted out the door and hurled everything into the van. An officer tried to intercept them, but McCall floored it in reverse, smashing into the squad car. That's when the chase kicked off. They could have surrendered and faced lighter charges. Instead, they were willing to risk everything just to hang on to a few pairs of shoes. Let's switch perspectives to Corporal Sierra, who swoops in for the final pit maneuver. His timing is flawless. The van spins out, and officers move in to make the arrests. In the end, all 4 suspects were apprehended and slapped with shoplifting charges. But McCall, being the driver and the one who rammed an officer's vehicle, faced the harshest penalties: fleeing, battery, and reckless driving. For a few stolen clothes and shoes, they risked it all. Now they're facing consequences that'll last far longer than any shopping spree ever would. And then there's Travis Lovett, a man who seemed destined to stay on the wrong side of the law. Fresh out of jail in 2017, he wasted no time getting back into trouble. By April 25, 2019, Travis was on the run again, this time in a stolen pickup truck. When Citrus County deputies tried to stop him in Floral City, he attempted to run them over. That's when Florida Highway Patrol jumped in, and Travis decided to take the chase off-road. With dirt flying and adrenaline pumping, Travis narrowly avoided 2 crashes and pulled off a dangerous move. The pursuing officer, nearly causing a major collision. But things got even crazier. Cornered and desperate, the pursuit ended in chaos as Travis lost control, crashing the truck and being ejected from the vehicle. After recovering in the hospital, he was booked on 2 counts of aggravated assault and 3 counts of attempted homicide on a police officer, 1 for each shot he fired at them. The final verdict? 50 years in state prison. June 9th, 2024 was not your average day for Arkansas State Trooper Robert Rome. While on patrol, he spotted a suspicious guy lounging on a motorcycle near a gas station. After making a smooth U-turn at a nearby station, the biker decided to hit the throttle and bolt down a side street, kicking off an adrenaline-pumping high-speed chase through residential neighborhoods. Radar guns clocked him at speeds pushing 130 miles per hour, making it way too risky for officers to attempt a pit maneuver. His off-road swerves left everyone wondering. Was he trying to shake the cops, or just struggling to control a bike that had taken a few love taps from Trooper Rome's front bumper?
Back on that.
The suspect pushed into a long, hilly stretch of road, probably thinking that if he broke sight, he could make a slick turn and vanish down a side street. Or maybe he had an even bolder plan: make it to Oklahoma and hope the police would back off. Back on familiar roads, the suspect wove through traffic, pulling every trick in the book to shake his pursuers. Enter Trooper Diego Araujo, taking over as the lead when Rome got boxed in. We'll ride shotgun with Araujo until the grand finale, where our would-be daredevil takes an off-road tumble, bringing the chase to a screeching halt.
Going through a red light.
The suspect's name remains a mystery, and we're left guessing what charges he faced. Footage suggests he might have run because of a small stash of marijuana. Ironically, the officers said he could have walked away with just a misdemeanor, but now he's looking at a stack of felonies. Turns out most of that chatter went over the suspect's head. He didn't speak English. Cue one officer reading him his Miranda rights in Spanish. Talk about an international twist. Arkansas State Trooper Trevoris Tatum was patrolling just 10 miles southwest of Little Rock when he caught a jaw-dropping sight, a young guy on a blue dirt bike popping a wheelie right in front of him. Trooper Tatum didn't waste a second, flipping on his lights and making a swift U-turn to pull the daredevil over. For a moment, it seemed like the rider was going to comply. But nope. He cranked the throttle and took off.
Stop! Stay please! Stop!
On these side streets, the dirt bike had the upper hand, weaving through traffic and zipping through parking lots like it was built for this. Trooper Tatum eventually lost sight of the bike, but the ride wasn't over. Enter Trooper William Cash, who spotted someone matching the description in another parking lot. And just like that, the chase was back on.
Coming up on Otter Creek. Speeds 70, 90. Getting back on the service road, Otter Creek.
Back on the service road.
Go break that parking lot.
The police lost visual, and the chase was called off. Whether the biker was ever caught, or if a better description surfaced, remains a mystery. One thing's for sure. Running from the cops is never a smart move. This kid got lucky, but luck ran out fast. Try it again, and the odds will be stacked against him. April 17th, 2024, started as just another day on the job for ambulance workers in Atlanta, Georgia. At around 1 p.m., they were tasked with transporting a patient from Piedmont Henry Hospital to Piedmont Regional for further evaluation. But 27-year-old Ladarius Williams had other plans. Instead of taking the ride peacefully, he decided to steal the ambulance, with the paramedics still inside. Ladarius tore out of the parking lot, forcing the paramedics to make a daring leap from the speeding vehicle. That's when police swooped in, and a helicopter appeared overhead to follow the action.
Someone in the top six in the passenger seat, right in the other side of the vehicle.
Hey, he gave me green light.
View. Slow speeds right now. Dead end, there's a dead end up ahead.
Hey, watch him. Be on go. Be on go. Yeah.
Watch him.
The chase led straight to a busy intersection, where traffic formed a natural roadblock. Ladarius barely managed to slip through, but with spiked tires, his escape wasn't bound to last long.
Yeah, open around. Watch out, watch out, watch out.
In a final dramatic turn, Ladarius crashed the ambulance into a light pole, narrowly avoiding plowing into someone's living room. Those homeowners were lucky that the pole was there. Police moved in and arrested Ladarius, booking him into Clayton County Jail on charges of aggravated assault, felony fleeing, and theft by taking. What was he hospitalized for in the first place? That remains a mystery. Instead of a trip to Piedmont Regional, Ladarius earned himself a direct ride to jail. March 14th, 2024. Sheriff's Deputy Brady was patrolling in Indian River County, Florida, when he noticed a suspicious Mercedes-Benz SUV with mismatched plates. The tag was registered to someone with a suspended license and belonged to a green Nissan. Clearly, someone had done a little DIY plate swap, with plenty of reasons to be suspicious. Deputy Brady flipped on his lights and signaled the SUV to pull over. For a moment, it looked like the driver was about to comply, but then, surprise, the driver hit the gas and the chase was on.
Just ran a stop sign for the second.
Behind the wheel, a woman named Nefertiti Deutz, not to be confused with the ancient Egyptian queen who helped build an empire. While Queen Nefertiti is known for shaping a golden age, this Nefertiti is known for shaping traffic chaos. And you're about to see why Florida doesn't want her driving. Nefertiti was arrested and charged with fleeing and knowingly driving with a suspended license. A quick background check revealed she hadn't legally been allowed to drive for years. During that time, she'd managed to rack up 14 guilty convictions for driving with a suspended license. It seems Nefertiti thought traffic laws didn't apply to her. If she'd been in ancient Egypt, the pharaoh probably wouldn't have let her near a chariot. Tavian LaJuan Robinson likes to put on a tough guy act, but deep down, this 22-year-old Florida man is a classic mama's boy. On April 29, 2024, Tavian and two friends decided to take a joyride outside Tampa in a black Dodge Charger. He was cruising at over 110 miles per hour when he flew past a Florida Highway Patrol officer. With traffic heavy that day, Tavian's high-performance sports car managed to put some distance between him and the trooper. While Tavian was only thinking about speed, our trooper had to balance public safety. It took him nearly 3 minutes at speeds close to 100 miles per hour just to catch a glimpse of Tavian's car again. As expected, Tavian wasn't planning to stick around. He broke the sightline and surged ahead, pushing the limits as the trooper navigated traffic, closing in at speeds up to 150 miles per hour. Even then, Tavian was pulling away, taking an exit onto South Lois Avenue at the last second. Thankfully, our trooper spotted the move and made a daring turn to keep up. But Tavian's luck ran out when South Lois Avenue narrowed to a tight 2-lane road. With a box truck barreling toward him in the oncoming lane, he had nowhere to go and crashed, forcing a quick decision to flee on foot. Tavian and his male passenger bolted while the female passenger stayed behind. It's unclear if she faced any charges. She may have just been caught up in the chaos. Police set up a perimeter, and not long after, found Tavian hiding in a trash can a few streets away. Back at the trooper's car, Tavian's bravado faded fast as he asked, ever so sweetly, to call his mom.
Can I talk to my mother?
Yeah. You remember?
Yes, sir.
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging.
When she didn't pick up, he turned to Plan B, his girlfriend.
9.
Hello? Hey, babe. Yeah, I'm in the back of a police car, babe. We had got pulled over.
The conversation that followed was full of denial and downplaying. In the end, Tavian Robinson was arrested for fleeing, reckless driving, and driving without a valid license. Add a probation violation to the mix, and it's safe to say Tavian's joyride landed him right back in the slammer. December 5th, 2023, Miami-Dade County, Florida. Police were in pursuit of a stolen utility van speeding south on I-95. The story behind this wild ride? The driver had just escaped from a nearby mental health facility, making his getaway on foot until he stumbled upon a car dealership with the keys conveniently left inside a van. Spotting the stolen van wasn't tough, and highway patrol officers soon caught up, kicking off a dangerous pursuit down the Florida freeway. A news helicopter overhead captured the chaos from above, showing us what ground-level dash cams couldn't. Watch as an officer moves in from behind, nearly sending the van spinning into the grassy median. He spins the van out, but the driver recovers and keeps going. The game of cat and mouse continues, but then our trooper loses his front bumper in the fray, taking him out of the chase. The news chopper stays locked on the suspect, while backup officers race to close the distance. Eventually, the suspect veers onto an overpass, stops the van, and jumps out. He runs to the edge and straddles the barrier, creating a tense moment where it looks like he might jump. But thankfully, he thinks better of it and surrenders to waiting officers. The suspect, identified as Jose Blancichet, was charged with grand theft, fleeing, and battery on law enforcement, among other offenses. If you think American police chases are intense, buckle up for this dash cam footage from Russia. We don't know exactly where in the motherland this pursuit happened, but one thing's clear. The driver of this car carrier was as drunk as a Soviet sailor and making a run for it. Russian officers were determined to put an end to this dangerous joyride. One officer, leaning out the window like an action hero, started taking pot shots at the truck's tires. It seems he found his mark because soon enough, the tires started to fail and showered the road with sparks. The chase continued, but it was clear the end was near. With shredded tires, the driver had no choice but to slow down and pull over. When the camera cuts back, he's already face down on the road with his hands behind his back. Fun fact, in Russia, the legal blood alcohol limit is 0.2 grams per deciliter, much lower than the 0.8 grams per deciliter allowed in the US. Safe to say, this truck driver was way over that limit. Between June 13th and 14th, 2020, Victor Topet turned Pittsburgh into his own real-life version of Grand Theft Auto. The 28-year-old was out on bail for manslaughter charges in Fresno, California, but instead of showing up to court, he skipped town and headed back to his hometown of Pittsburgh. On the night of the 13th, police caught up with Topete, mid-carjacking. He fought off the driver, shrugged off a police taser like it was nothing, and hit the gas, disappearing into the night.
Truck facing east on right eye of the...
Fast forward to the next day. Officers responded to a report of a stolen white pickup truck in Pittsburgh. It didn't take long for their helicopter to spot Topet lounging on the roadside. As soon as he saw the chopper, Topet bolted, crashing into an officer and launching one of the wildest chases Pittsburgh had ever seen.
He's running towards the freeway.
Head on into Lafayette. TC, head on into Lafayette unit, Bovell towards the freeway.
Yeah, we need units on 24. He jumped on the 24. He's running across 24. We're in all green. Just got hit by a car. Need units on 24.
On 24, got hit by a car. We're in all... Copy code 3 medic. Lafayette unit.
Attempting to carjack a white sedan.
Attempting to carjack a white sedan.
Every unit on 24. He's running up to every car we can.
All units to 24. Where was the head-on with the Lafayette car?
Medical for the Lafayette car. He's forcing entry right now into a car.
forcing entry into a...
The car is driving off with him hanging off the car. He's entering the tunnel. Left bore of the tunnel, or right bore of the tunnel.
Copy 215 vehicle, right bore. What's the description on that car?
The four-door white Toyota Highlander. He's in the car, 215 it, he's in the tunnel now.
For a moment, police lost visual as he zipped through a tunnel, but they picked up the pursuit as soon as he emerged. The helicopter kept watch from above, while ground officers and K-9 units closed in. After a wild pursuit that included Topete carjacking multiple people, surviving a 20-foot fall, getting hit by a truck, and crashing his stolen car into several police vehicles, the chase finally ended with his arrest in the woods. If facing manslaughter charges wasn't enough, Topete racked up 15 new felony charges from his 2-day crime spree. You might be wondering how he managed to get into that white SUV. Well, it turns out the original stolen white pickup belonged to his own father. Topete even snagged the green construction vest he's seen wearing in the helicopter footage from that truck. The SUV driver, he thought he was helping a construction worker in need. Safe to say, that guy might have some trust issues from now on. Here's some solid advice. Don't even think about running from the Arkansas State Police. They don't care how fast you're going. They'll pit maneuver you right into the next county if they have to. The driver of this Chevy Trailblazer found that out the hard way. With a firm hand and expert timing, Trooper Carpenter executed a pit maneuver at 88 miles per hour, spinning the suspect's vehicle out of control. He turned around, knowing full well that the scene wouldn't be pretty. As expected, the driver was shaken up, but fortunately, didn't suffer any life-threatening injuries. He was treated at a nearby hospital before facing the music. According to police, he had an outstanding misdemeanor warrant, and his reckless joyride earned him additional charges for fleeing, criminal mischief, aggravated assault, and reckless driving. If you're planning to run from the Florida Highway Patrol, maybe don't choose a giant white box truck as your getaway vehicle. That memo never reached 33-year-old Brandon Baker. On August 23, 2022, Brandon kicked off his morning with a carjacking. Whether the white truck was his first choice or a backup after Plan A went south, we may never know. What we do know is that about a dozen Florida Highway Patrol cars were soon tailing this unwieldy, slow-moving truck as it weaved through Alachua County, pulling stunts that left everyone wondering what would come next.
100 block. Reserve and canal. Back in the right lane of travel. Acceleration point. Anybody have any ideas on business? Can we set a two-wheel drive or a two-wheel rear vehicle?
10-4 into a ASO K9 still eastbound police team. Hey, you good? You can get where to the island. I'm going to check on this red car. Alright, 60 mile an hour. Do you have any lag at ASO yet? Signal 4 and wrong lane of traffic. Piccadilly, wrong lane of travel past Piccadilly. Continuing on. Alright, we're still continuing northbound, passing the Metro Diner. Everybody hold the traffic for a second. Keep calling. We're through the parking lot. We're about to come out of 34th Street. But take this minute again. Coming back out on the 34th Street. Going back southbound on 34th.
After a chase full of questionable decisions, Brandon was brought down and taken to a nearby emergency room for minor injuries, but there was no reprieve. He was promptly arrested and slapped with 16 charges, including aggravated battery, grand theft, and hit and run. Reports also mention that Brandon ripped up the floorboard and damaged wires connected to the truck's camera system. When officers asked why, his response was, "I have problems." Safe to say, those problems were nothing compared to the list of charges and potential jail time he'd be facing. In a high-speed police chase, officers often have no idea who's behind the wheel. But sometimes they know exactly who they're dealing with and just how dangerous that person might be. Enter Rodney Marshall from Lawrence, Kansas. On July 31st, 2022, Rodney was implicated in the tragic deaths of two men found on a snitch list inside his home. Not content with that chaos, he kidnapped his girlfriend and led police on a wild, dangerous chase through Douglas County. Dashcam footage captured Rodney's utter disregard for human life as he opened fire on officers while barreling through neighborhoods. At one point, one of Rodney's bullets disabled a police cruiser, forcing the lead officer to drop out of the pursuit. Meanwhile, another cruiser quickly caught up, but wisely kept a safe distance, fully aware of what Rodney was capable of. The hope was to deploy a spike strip before anyone else got hurt. And the spike strip was a hit. Rodney slowed down and brought the car to a stop, setting the stage for a tense standoff with the entire Lawrence police force.
Face away! Step out!
Keep coming! Keep coming!
In the end, Rodney was arrested and charged with 2 counts of first-degree homicide and 6 counts of attempted first-degree homicide. Reports indicated he was acting erratically and suffering from withdrawals at the time of the shooting. His girlfriend revealed that he subscribed to some pretty wild conspiracy theories, even believing that aliens were out to get him. Oh, and let's not forget the bizarre detail that made this story even stranger. He was wearing a Ninja Turtle costume during the event. Talk about a wild twist. On December 26, 2021, a routine patrol turned chaotic for a highway patrol officer in Escambia County, Florida. As he was cruising along, a black Jeep Grand Cherokee zipped by in the opposite lane. Inside the Jeep was 18-year-old Traquez Davis, who decided it was time to hit the gas and make a break for it. Traquez eventually ducked into a neighborhood, still ignoring stop signs and careening onto the wrong side of the road. But despite his reckless driving, he couldn't shake the officer, who stayed right on his tail, preparing for a textbook pit maneuver. As Traquez sped on, he narrowly avoided the pit maneuver, putting him at a crossroads. Crash head-on into another officer, or take his Jeep off-road. After surviving one pit maneuver, he knew he wouldn't be so lucky the second time around. Traquez had an active warrant out of Okaloosa County for fleeing and eluding police. When officers searched the Jeep, they found a stash of narcotics and several $1,000s in cash. In the end, Traquez faced charges for reckless driving, fleeing, and possession of narcotics with the intent to sell. April 1st, 2017, Palestine, Texas. A small town about 100 miles southeast of Dallas became the scene of one of the wildest stunts you could ever imagine. Meet 18-year-old Armando Vinaja, a teenager who thought an April Fool's prank was best served with sirens and flashing lights by stealing an ambulance from the Palestine Regional Medical Center.
Get on the ground now! Get on the ground!
Armando was practically grinning. Seriously, who steals an ambulance and finds it funny? In the end, Armando was charged with driving while intoxicated, reckless driving, and resisting arrest. He was held on a $115,000 bond and arraigned just a few days later. What happened next? Well, the details are fuzzy, but one thing's for sure. Hopefully he learned his lesson and stopped stealing ambulances. August 18, 2023, West Allis, Wisconsin. Officers are tailing a red Kia SUV that was recently reported stolen. The suspect, however, had other plans. As soon as the officers flipped on their lights, the driver hit the gas, and the chase was on. The suspects didn't take it easy. They led police on a wild 3.5-mile pursuit through red lights, stop signs, and busy intersections. But here's the kicker. Wait until you hear how old the driver was.
So speeds are only like 50 right now, crossing Landville. Watch due diligence here. Whoa. Watch. Passing Mitchell. Keep going.
In these types of high-speed chases, police can't just blow through stop signs and red lights. They have to slow down to ensure the coast is clear, which can give reckless suspects just the window they need to escape. But these officers did everything right, maintaining a safe but steady pace while keeping their eyes locked on the suspect.
Walgreens parking lot here, go. Just driving through the Walgreens parking lot here, coming up to, I think, going to be 6-1 northbound from Oklahoma. Go. The car's smoking pretty good here. Speeds are still only like 50, going northbound on 6-1, coming back up to Cleveland. Slow down for the stop. Just past Stack, 6-1 and Stack, northbound. Speeds are still only 50 here. It's smoking a little bit. No traffic here. No pedestrians that I see. Slow down for the top. Go. Just past Montana, coming back up to Cleveland here. Going west on Cleveland from 6-0.
Now, the Kia driver wasn't just speeding, he was pushing that SUV to its absolute limit. You could even hear one of the officers say the car was starting to smoke. And then, just as they passed an active construction zone, the car went up in flames. Even with the engine flaming out under the hood, these suspects kept going. They were clearly in no mood to stop.
Eastbound 9 connect from 6-8, go. Good.
But luck wasn't on their side forever. The chase finally came to an end, and the officers moved in to arrest the trio. Here's where it gets wild. The driver was just 14 years old, and his two passengers were only 15. All three came from Milwaukee, just 6.5 miles away from West Allis. After the arrest, the case was handed over to the Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office. What happened next? That part's unclear. But here's hoping these teens turned their lives around and stopped stealing cars for good. September 17th, 2022, Platteville, Colorado. Officer Pablo Vasquez is just doing his usual thing, pulling over a pickup truck on County Road 38. A 911 call reports that the driver, 20-year-old Yareni Rios, is waving a gun out the window like she's in an action movie, speeding down the highway. Backup rushes in, and the officers position themselves behind Vasquez's SUV, ready for a high-stakes arrest. But here's the kicker. Neither officer notices that their squad car is parked right across active train tracks. Yep, you heard that right. Talk about a ticking time bomb.
What's going on? Why am I here?
To be extra cautious, they place her inside Vasquez's SUV while they search the pickup.
I see a car seat. It took her a very long time to pull over.
But as they inspect the truck, something's off. You can hear a train's whistle growing louder and louder, approaching fast. By the time the officers realize what's happening, it's already too late. In a flash, disaster strikes.
Who is that, Hart?
No, that's Tom check. Oh my god.
Move your car! Stay back!
The officers sprint to the crash site, a few hundred feet away, adrenaline coursing through their veins. When they get there, all they find is a mangled police SUV, yet somehow Yareni is still alive inside. Reports later revealed that Yareni suffered a traumatic brain injury in the crash, but the real twist comes next. She successfully sued the cities of Platteville and Fort Lupton for a jaw-dropping $8.5 million. It looks like those police departments have some serious updates to make to their training manuals, starting with never park on active train tracks. January 1st, 2021. Trooper Dakota Davis kicked off the new year with a bang during his first shift. He received a call about a pickup truck actively fleeing the Arkansas State Police, and without missing a beat, he flipped on his lights and raced down Route 167 West toward Little Rock. After a few minutes of heart-pounding high-speed driving, Trooper Davis caught up with his fellow officers and took the lead in the pursuit. The truck was flying down Interstate 44-0, hitting speeds over 115 miles per hour. Trooper Davis quickly sized up the situation, attempting to position himself for a pit maneuver. But with other drivers in the mix, he had to back off and play it safe. But as it turns out, the chase was about to end in the most unexpected way. Here's a pro tip for anyone fleeing the police. Stop signs don't budge. The truck driver tried to blow through one, and it did some serious damage to his escape plan. Unfortunately, we never learned the driver's name, nor did we find out why he was running in the first place. And here's the real mystery. Why were his hazard lights on the entire time? Maybe it was his way of saying, "I'm running, but I'm trying to be courteous about it." We'll never know. If his New Year's resolution was to get arrested by the Arkansas State Police, then congratulations, sir. You nailed it.
Just going back on
Skegness, England, a charming seaside town in the East Lindsey district of Lincolnshire, home to around 21,000 people who enjoy breathtaking views of the North Sea. On sunny days, many head to the Pleasure Beach Fun Fair to take a spin on the roller coasters or try their luck at carnival games. But on August 19, 2022, the excitement wasn't coming from the fair. It was from a high-speed police chase. It all started when police in Skegness pulled behind a man driving with fake tags. They attempted to pull him over, but this bloke had other plans. He hit the gas and bolted. Now let's be real. Police chases in the UK are a whole different game compared to the US.
Oh, they've come to a stop.
Instead of ramming the suspect off the road at the first opportunity, UK officers stay in constant communication with their supervisor, calling out each move, assessing the risks, and determining how much force they're allowed to use as the chase escalates. If this were in America, the officers would have probably rammed this guy's car into oblivion by now. But in the UK, the chase keeps rolling on.
Right, Roman Bank, go ahead, hold on. He's had a temporary loss of control. He's doing you. Just don't do contact, don't just hold on. We are Old Roman Bank, now towards Ingermales. Subject vehicle does have damage to it. Was, again, high risk, back down to medium risk.
The suspect heads straight for the Pleasure Beach Fun Fair, where things were about to get a whole lot more dangerous with all the pedestrian traffic.
Pedestrian traffic is high. It's a right into a car park.
But then, something unexpected happens. One brave man inside the carnival decides to lend a hand in stopping the runaway. It's a bit shaky, but you can see that this unsung hero moved the metal fencing in front of the suspect like makeshift spike strips. The already damaged tire finally gives, and within moments, the driver's escape is over.
Heavy pedestrian traffic, we're trying to give him some space, stand by for decamp.
And within moments, the driver's escape is over. Police arrested the unnamed suspect and discovered he was driving on a suspended license. He eventually pleaded guilty to driving while disqualified, dangerous driving, and driving without insurance, resulting in a 14-month jail sentence. A little help from a fairground hero, and just like that, this high-speed chase came to a screeching halt.
This might be a pursuit. All right, cameras, we are stopping this Camaro here when I get cleared due to its in and out of...
Just because you're driving a shiny Camaro doesn't mean you're exempt from the rules of the road. Unfortunately, some young drivers think their muscle cars give them a free pass to break the law. Take 21-year-old Marcellus Woods, for example. He thought he could speed, change lanes without signaling, and get away with it.
Start 1052, 14.0.
While Trooper Baumeister stayed at the scene of a crash to provide first aid to an injured driver, officers from the Gary Police Department joined the pursuit, and it couldn't have come at a worse time, just as they were sitting down for lunch at Qdoba. As they learned, the Camaro pulled over in a neighborhood, and Marcellus made the bold decision to run on foot. Now comes the high-stakes game of searching for a suspect who might be armed and dangerous. It didn't take long before one of the officers spotted Marcellus sprinting through the neighborhood. A foot chase ensued, and after 14 nerve-wracking minutes, police deployed a taser, finally stopping Marcellus in his tracks.
What are you running for, huh? Because why? He's trying to kill you right now. Who? I swear to God. Who tried to kill you?
A guy named Debo.
Stop resisting. I'm not. I promise I'm not. This dude named Debo. I swear to God.
Allegedly jumped in the car, held him at gunpoint, and forced him to run from the cops. Debo then ran off when Marcellus crashed the car. Here's the thing. No Debo was ever in the car. The cops had him on camera the whole time and never saw anyone else leave the vehicle. Marcellus's excuse? About as believable as a movie plot. In the end, Marcellus was arrested and charged with resisting arrest and leaving the scene of an accident. Luckily, EMS arrived and treated the people in the car he struck for non-life-threatening injuries. As for why Marcellus ran, it's probably because he didn't have a license. And just to put your mind at ease, no ferrets were harmed during the chase. May 25, 2021, Georgia State Police got word of a stolen van with fake license plates spotted leaving Savannah. Not long after, GSP Trooper Williams spotted the van heading east on I-516. He flipped on his lights and sirens, expecting to pull the driver over. But instead, the driver did what any runaway would do. She hit the gas, and the chase was on. Now here's the thing about stolen vans. They're big, clunky, and not exactly built for outrunning the cops. This driver was about to get a serious lesson in physics and the limits of her getaway van. The woman behind the wheel? None other than Melinda Flakes, a name Georgia State Police knew all too well. Her rap sheet stretches back to 2011 when she was just 17, getting into trouble for sneaking out of a police cruiser's window. Fast forward a decade, and she's graduated from sneaking out of cars to stealing them. But today, she was driving a paint van. Yeah, you heard that right, a slow, clunky paint van. Not exactly the getaway car of a master criminal.
Towards Cloverdale. Get on the ground!
Okay, you're on my stomach.
I don't care. Stop resisting and we'll get you off your stomach.
Hey, breathe. Okay, breathe. Stop, dude.
Come on.
Police quickly determined that Melinda's passenger was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. No warrants, nothing to hold him on. So after some questioning, he was let go. But as for Melinda, the police found a burned glass pipe in the van. You can probably guess what that was used for, and arrested her for driving under the influence of banned substances. She was taken to the hospital for minor injuries and processed. Now, whether she faced any jail time for the paint van fiasco, hard to say. But if she did, it clearly didn't do the trick. 4 months later, in September 2021, Trooper Williams was back in action, arresting her again, this time for stealing and crashing a silver Honda Accord. Looks like Melinda couldn't stay out of trouble if she tried.
Right up at Studio 6.
It's midnight on March 20th, 2018 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Police pull over 36-year-old Angie Frost after spotting her driving a stolen vehicle. As officers cuff her, Angie calmly explains that her friend Steven lent her the car to help move some things. She swears she didn't know it was stolen. While the officers search the vehicle, one of them stays behind to hear her side of the story. And that's when the switch flips. Angie suddenly offers to work as an informant. Maybe she's making it all up. Either way, Tulsa PD isn't about to let her walk free. Things are about to get much worse for Angie. Turns out Angie wasn't legally allowed to drive any vehicle, let alone a stolen one.
Over 11th and Garnett, is that what you're telling me?
I told him things. I mean, I don't know if that's the correct term.
Are you in regular contact with somebody, a detective, or are you just talking about you've talked to patrol officers before about stuff?
No, it wasn't patrol officers.
Okay, so it was some detective or something?
It was the one in charge. I don't know what they're called.
In charge of what?
Over it was the
No, I'm willing to do this.
When one officer announces she's going to jail, they put her in the passenger seat of the squad car, thinking the worst was over. But hold on, the story's just getting started. While the officers discuss the stolen car, Angie's still in the cruiser, chatting non-stop about other crimes around Tulsa, like she's the queen of the black market. When that doesn't get her anywhere, she shifts tactics and pulls off a move nobody saw coming. Keep your eye on Angie after the officer shuts the door. She might not have stolen the first car, but she's about to steal the cop car.
Well, what is she doing?
Trying to steal your car.
Stop, coach. Stop, coach.
Okay, 41st. I think you just started on 41st going east.
David, 104, 10-4, she did. Where'd she go? Is that her right there? There she is.
Come here now!
There's some more
You stole a police car in front of 3 police officers. I've seen some stupid stuff, but my gosh.
We saw you do it.
No, you didn't see me do it.
I did.
He did. You didn't.
Hard to steal models. If she can get out there. Not even mad.
Angie should have stayed quiet from the start. While the officers were discussing charges near the stolen car, they even mentioned how the charges might not stick. If Angie had just kept her mouth shut, she might have gotten away with everything. But no, she was arrested and charged with possession of a stolen vehicle, grand theft auto, and resisting arrest. February 7th, 2024, Arkansas State Police are hot on the tail of a stolen U-Haul van, a chase that's already been going for over 60 miles. It all started in Oklahoma when 21-year-olds Corey Mercier and Trenton Johnson swiped the van near Colcord, Oklahoma. Things quickly escalated when they allegedly struck another car head-on, and instead of stopping, they led police on a high-speed pursuit across state lines into Arkansas.
14 to the lead. Eastbound through Barrington, 1's primary.
Copy eastbound Barrington, 1's primary.
We're coming up to you right now.
The van might be thick, but that doesn't stop officers from trying a pit maneuver to stop the suspects. It's risky, but they're determined to end this before it gets even worse. Our officer puts his own life on the line, making daring moves to stop these men before they seriously hurt anyone.
Hi, Tommy, do you have updated speeds in 20?
I'm with your section at 48, right now, taking the interstate, going northbound.
Copy.
Direction southbound.
Copy, copy.
Over the TVR now. No, not yet. We're southbound here,
It's a close call, but thankfully the officer is okay when backup arrives. Corey and Trenton were quickly arrested off camera without further incident. But here's where it gets even crazier. What police found inside the U-Haul. This wasn't just a stolen van, it was a mobile arsenal. Inside, officers discovered multiple firearms, a machete, and, wait for it, 2 Molotov cocktails. It's unclear what their plan was, but police certainly stopped them before they could do something catastrophic. In the end, both men were hit with a slew of charges, including aggravated assault, criminal conspiracy, and possession of destructive devices. Both Corey and Trenton are now awaiting their days in court, with a lot of explaining to do. August 29th, 2022, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Police are on the tail of a stolen Volkswagen SUV with 4 suspects inside, all allegedly tied to a recent home invasion in the area. After breaking into a home, they made a quick getaway in the stolen vehicle, but it didn't take long for the police to close in on them. As officers got closer, the driver made a desperate attempt to escape, swerving into oncoming traffic, a reckless move that only added fuel to the fire.
Driver's got a more cat on.
Back northbound. East on Marne. East on Marne. Losing it. East on Marne. It's got no tire. East on Marne past Yorkwood. Plates Adam Mary at Marne to 6. It's occupied 4 times. Come up to Lidell.
68 is behind you. I'll call it. We're still eastbound on Marne, coming up to Lidell, slowing down here. We're gonna go southbound on Lidell, south on Lidell now. Here in the 4800 block of Lidell, still going, coming up to Hampton.
68, get in front, get it.
chase had gone on long enough. A police SUV pulled ahead and lined up for a pit maneuver.
All right, still, here comes the pit. Here comes the pit, and off-road.
But the driver saw it coming and decided to take things off-road, instead adding a whole new level of chaos to the pursuit.
114 to 184, are we doing mutual aid?
Inside the vehicle, a 35-year-old woman. Behind the wheel with an 18-year-old girl in the passenger seat. In the back were two young boys, just 16 and 14 years old, but we never get to know if they were actually her children. Regardless, one thing is clear. This woman was putting her kids, or whoever they were, in serious danger. If they were her children, then this lady might just be the most reckless mother in Wisconsin. The chase ends soon after, but not before the police get a few crucial answers. It was a reckless escape, but thankfully, no one was seriously hurt. If you're thinking about stealing a car, here's a tip. Maybe pick something with a low profile. Apparently, 32-year-old Chad Murdoch from Cincinnati, Ohio, didn't get the memo. On May 30th, 2023, he went all in and stole a bright yellow school bus in Hamilton County. And guess what? Driving a giant school bus kind of makes you stick out like a school bus. It wasn't long before state police officers and sheriff's deputies spotted the stolen ride, and the chase was on. The adrenaline kicks in, and Chad decides to test the school bus's off-road capabilities. Keeping up with the bus is easy. Stopping it? That's a whole different story. You can't just ram a school bus, and pit maneuvering could put the officers in a whole lot of danger. So, they play it smart, just staying on his tail and waiting for the right moment. Meanwhile, Chad's still trying to lose them, taking a wild detour through a cemetery. That's right, a school bus off-roading through a graveyard, like something out of a movie. And where better for Chad to end his joyride than in the very place he'd spent most of his time, the middle of a rural Ohio farm. Chad Murdoch was arrested and slapped with a laundry list of charges, including criminal recklessness, resisting law enforcement, and of course, stealing a school bus. He also caused damage to several police vehicles and wrecked untold amounts of private property. If only the word discreet was part of his vocabulary. April 26, 2016, Doral, Florida. This small city, about 14 miles west of downtown Miami, has seen its fair share of crime. Could have prepared the Doral Police Department for what went down that day. A call came in about an active police chase, tearing through Miami-Dade County, and this time, the suspect wasn't your average criminal. The guy was driving a stolen flatbed truck with a forklift hanging off the back, like a maniac. It was like something out of a bad action movie, except this was real life, and he was driving like he didn't care about anyone's safety. And here's the kicker. He was never going to outrun the cops in that thing. So what's the plan? Make things as dangerous as possible to get the pursuit called off. Well, that seemed to be exactly what he was going for. Things really heat up when traffic starts piling up.
southbound extension, going northbound. We're right by the exit T building, right by the exit T building.
Seeing the officers approaching in the opposite lane, the suspect swerves right, cutting through traffic like he's dodging a bullet. But instead of escaping, he's headed straight for a gridlock traffic jam, and he's about to make things a whole lot worse. He spots what he thinks is an opening in the right lane and tries to squeeze through. Let's see how that works out. It's a miracle he didn't cause a massive crash. According to the police report, the suspect was eventually arrested after a brief scuffle, but the police never released his name or what charges he faced, so we're left to guess. What we do know, he rear-ended a police car and even tried to run over an officer earlier in the pursuit. Given everything, this crazy Florida man was likely facing some serious jail time. Thanks for riding the adrenaline wave with us here at Mind Rush. The thrill isn't over yet. We're just warming up. If you crave heart-pounding action and jaw-dropping excitement, smash that subscribe button now and buckle up. More epic, mind-blowing moments are coming your way faster than ever. Stay hyped, stay wild, and as always, feel the rush.